Hey guys, I hope you're keeping well. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about this book. It's called 11 Rules for Life by Chetan Bhagat. And I just finished this book, and this is basically a self improvement book. This author, he's a very famous Indian author, and he normally writes works of fiction. And these works of fiction aren't generally quite thought provoking. They're very easy reads. I mean, you could probably finish the book in 1 or 2 days. But they're entertaining and they have interesting storylines, which are quite predictable. But this, I believe, is his first ever, you could say, self improvement book, or non fiction book, probably for that matter. It's a brand new book, and it was released this year. Um, so, thoughts on this book? Essentially, this book kind of reminds me a little bit of maybe The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, or The Alchemist, where there's kind of like a story, and through this story are lessons or nuggets of wisdom that we can apply to our own life. So in that sense, there was kind of a story, but through it was weaved a lot of relevant lessons that the readers can kind of extrapolate from the readings. In this book, basically, there's a gentleman, and it's written in first person, and there's a gentleman who basically works as a Zomato delivery driver. So this, for those who don't understand the context, in India, basically people who do Uber Eats, Deliveroo, there's something called Zomato, which is very similar. And unfortunately, people who do Zomato aren't generally the highest paid people. So it basically starts with this gentleman coming in, and um, the person who answers the door, I'm guessing it's Chetan Bhagat, basically kind of notices that this delivery driver is very upset, perturbed, and that's when he invites him in. And he notices that this delivery driver is going through a lot of issues, not like socially, emotionally, physically, whatever it is. And he basically motivates the first time that he invites this driver in, he motivates this driver, and he just kind of gets to the bottom of what's happening, and he notices that there are different aspects of this driver's life which can do with some improvement, which is obviously causing his low mood and his sense of low morale and whatever. So basically, the story goes where each day the driver comes back with a new meal, because he tries to order it so that the driver can pick up this meal and come back. So each day the driver comes, there's a new lesson, and that new lesson or that new day leads into a new chapter, and basically a new takeaway. So most of the lessons basically revolve around, like the importance of physical fitness. Also, there's a section on managing finances, investment, savings. There's a section on interpersonal skills, communicating effectively. And also, he emphasizes a lot about how there's different stages, um, or different classes, especially in India, different classes. And to get from one class to the other, actually the people in the lower and middle, they take up the largest space in terms of the population, but the people at the top have a great amount of wealth, power, and everything. However, they take up a very small portion of that population, and he's talking about how in between each of these gaps of these classes, it's very hard to jump from one class to the other, especially in India, where there's a lot of friction in doing so. So he talks about the ways in which a person can do that, as hard as it may be, the ways in which a person can kind of jump from one class to the other. Um, so that was quite interesting. And I guess in terms of the takeaways for a self-improvement book, this did have all the foundations of a self-improvement book. Now, if you're new to reading self-improvement books, then this is a great start. However, in my case, I've read quite a lot of self-improvement books, so I would say that if you have read a lot of self-improvement books, I don't think there's anything that's necessarily life-changing that you're going to read here. A lot of the stuff that I read is like, oh yeah, I guess this is something I knew almost innately, or this is something that I've kind of read similar to other self-help books. However, given the fact that this was, I believe, his first self-help book, he did get, I think, the essentials. and I guess a good foundation for those who are kind of getting into self improvement and stuff. Would I recommend it? Yes and no. In short, yeah. So if you're new to self improvement books, yes. With that said, I hope that this was useful. The takeaways are quite good. And yeah, thanks. See you on the next review.